In this infinite cosmos, where time is the only constant progression, our existence is transient. Yet, there are some stories out there which transcends time, questions our beliefs, our purpose, who we are, and what to be of us. The very existence of being a human. During the Battle of Loos, British Army suffered the worst casualties in a single day yet, some 1,500 dead. As for 2nd Battalion, 3rd Gurkha Rifles, out of 800 men, less than 50 survived. Kulbir Thapa was one of the survivors.
The survival story behind the enemy line on itself is a praiseworthy tale. But Kulbir's story didn't finish us there. What unfolds next is a legendary tale of self-sacrifice, compassion, and friendship. On September 26, 1950, for a fleeting moment amidst burn and grime-filled no man's land, he displayed a much greater heroism than war, humanity. This earned him the first ever Victoria Cross for the Gurkhas, but most importantly, on that day, it brought both German and British together to acknowledge the sheer willpower of the Gurkhas. This remarkable true story is meant for the big screen, and to bring my vision into reality, I have assembled an experienced and dedicated team, all working on a voluntary basis, but we need your support to help us fund this project. It is a non-profit based project, and we promise to donate all the profit from the movie to the Gurkha Welfare Trust. To highlight the hardship any hopeful British Gurkha recruit must endure, our team thought it would be a fitting challenge for me to make an attempt for a Doku race. The challenge is to complete 5-kilometer uphill run, carrying 25 kg of extra weight within 46 minutes in the highest mountain of England, Scafell Pike. Based on our research, we arrived at the destination expecting dry weather, but it had been raining all day, so the race began very late in the afternoon. They say this challenge separates men from the boys, and it is a test of stamina, character, and commitment. And they must complete the challenge in the given time. It is considered one of the toughest selection processes in the world, and often the failure for any hopeful Gurkhas can be so very devastating. Some never return home. It takes hopeful Gurkha recruits years of intense training to complete this race. On the other hand, my 1 week of intense training was nowhere near for its preparation. It was clear to see. I was losing time, and completing the challenge in the given time seemed nearly impossible. However, that wasn't our only issue. We were heading straight into a winter storm, and we were completely oblivious to it. As we climbed higher, we had the first glance of the winter storm. It had brought sporadic rain, snow, and strong wind, which created havoc for the filming crew. Most of our equipment wasn't suitable for the weather. Then, the news arrived that the storm ahead was much worse on the top than we had thought. With less than an hour to sunset, we were unsure what to do next, and what follows next is completely unscripted. Completing the challenge in the time wasn't in question anymore. It was of our own safety. At just over a year ago, there had been a death under similar weather conditions.
I'm very disappointed in myself that I couldn't have finished the challenge in the given timeline. It's just very hot. As you can see, it's raining, snowing. The weather is awful out there. Visibility is barely none. But still, out of respect to my ancestors and to this very generation of Gurkhas who, till these days, far home, endure this hard selection process just to be part of this British army. For them, we're still gonna go all the way to the top.
As we raced against the sunset, I was determined to reach the summit, no matter what. After all, we had come so far. As for the crew, with only one camera working between them, they could have returned back to the base. Instead, they decided to join me all the way to the top, a heroic display from my crew. As we reached closer to the summit, the visibility was poor and the path that lied ahead was treacherous. By now, the sun had dipped below the horizon, and we were surrounded by the snowstorm. With darkness arriving fast, I decided to leave the crew behind and head for the peak alone in order to complete the challenge. Unaware of my decision, the crew had to react quick. With no other options available, they made an ambitious drone flight to capture my final ascent. As I reached the top of the peak, it only occurred to me that both my father and brother had completed similar race before. That very sense of belonging among your own family's history is what lies beneath the bravery.
As the son of a Gurkha, I grew up amidst these great men and heard the legendary stories firsthand. The tale of bravery can be compared to myth, and that's a testament to my ancestors. And it's time we honor these great men who fought far away from home with the hope of better tomorrow, with the hope of leaving the next generation with the legacy of the bravest of the brave.
This project has been years in making. First, finding the right story, then assembling the passionate cast and crew, and now we are inviting you to join our historical effort to bring a first ever Gurkha biographical feature film so that we can tell the rest of the world about our forefathers' almost mythical and legendary stories.